daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily Manchester United, a game that had everything. Controversy, handballs, yellow cards, a throat being held by a Bournemouth player, and 8 goals spread evenly for a point shared at Old Trafford in the game against Manchester United versus Bournemouth, in a game where the streak almost came to an end of us leading at half-time and then not being defeated since 1984, I want to say. Luckily, there were a couple of players on that pitch that made sure that didn't happen. My name's Kieran. I'm joined today on today's episode by Sam. And Sam, the first thing we're all going to say is Amorim changed his system. And my goodness, what a game it produced.
If you're expecting me from this episode to be really analytical and, really tell you about everything that went down, I'm not going to be, just because I can't really describe what just happened, to be honest. It was chaos. It was absolute chaos. It's just, the thing is that I was saying throughout the whole game, I have no worries in the slightest about our attack. We can score goals. Clearly, we can score goals. But we can't go goal for goal against Bournemouth at Old Trafford. I mean, it was just a mad game. It was chaotic. As you said, the streak nearly came to an end. The undefeated one at half-time, not losing. It was just mad, to be honest.
I think putting Aiden Heaven as your sort of, if you're playing that back three, in the centre of that sort of defensive stronghold, I think that's more reserved for either the player that's strongest in the air or your best defender. And across that back three, I just don't feel like Aiden Heaven was the best. I think the back three didn't really have their greatest game. Dalot, probably got us a chance to get 3 points and then took it all away. Luke Shaw kind of did a similar thing. So really the back five, I just don't think they had a great game. Dalot, with the hand round his neck, more on that later. And attack-wise, I think our only blemish attack-wise was Mbeumo. I was really disappointed with, he snatched at chances, he wasn't clinical, he wasn't at his best. And when you've got Ahmad now and Mbeumo, they're both off to AFCON. I mean, that's a huge worry, as Ahmad was great on the pitch. Maybe not so, second half was, everyone was a bit 50-50 in that second half. But yeah, I just think Mbeumo faded away. I didn't really think he got into this game. Luckily for us, though, Cunha, second goal of the season for him, for Cunha? But my goodness, what a player he is. Like, even when it was 4-4 and he had 3 Bournemouth players around him, but he was able to just skin all of them and just get into some free and fresh air. I mean, he's such a great player to watch on. As you said, Sam, attacking-wise, it was really good. I thought Casemiro had a good game. There was, he was making a couple of incisive passes as well, which some found it, others not so much. But I think on the whole, going forward, we look great, especially in that first half. But it just seemed like these two systems, which really thrive on soaking up a lot of pressure and counter-attacking, when it came to it, neither team could really deal with the counter-attack that they were facing.
Yeah, look, I've been saying it all season and I won't stop saying it. And this game sort of backs up the point of, we're playing 5. Okay, whether you want to say Ahmad's not a right wing back, he's really playing right wing, fine, whatever. But the system fundamentally is 5 at the back with Casemiro, a natural DM midfielder. So realistically, on paper, you're playing 6 defenders. And then that's a problem in itself, that we've conceded 4 at home to Bournemouth. So that in itself, that we're meant to be in this formation more defensively solid, and we're not. So that's a problem. But then if you actually look and go deeper into it, and I know I said maybe I'd be more reactional this pod, but you're already guessing me more, to talk about the real annoyance that the system brings and the fundamentals of it. You look in who we actually have in that defence, and it's bad. It's so bad. You've got Dalot, who's a natural right back, played right back his whole career, now playing left wing back. You've got Luke Shaw, natural left back, played left back his whole career, playing centre back, cost us a goal tonight as well. You've got a kid, really, in Aiden Heaven playing there. And then you've got in Euro, who, I mean, really is a kid in himself, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, very good defender, more, I would say, senior just in the way he plays, and I guess the pressure he's brought over than Heaven. I class them maybe a bit different, but you've got a 3 centre-back partnership there of Luke Shaw, Aiden Heaven, and Euro. It's not good. It's not good. And then you've got your right wing back as Ahmad, who won't defend if you put money in front of him. You know, you ain't gonna get him to defend. So the whole point about, you go back to my first point about you've got 5 defenders, a DM, and then you look at it and you've actually got average or just above average defenders at playing out a position. It's like, what are we doing here? We're setting ourselves up to concede. And look, I'll go back to my original point where attacking wise, we're brilliant. During the summer, our recruitment was excellent. And I get you can't fix the whole team in one summer, so we've had to start somewhere. But we are shockingly bad defensively. I mean, you look at our recent games, conceded 1 to West Ham at Old Trafford, conceded 2 to Everton at Old Trafford, conceded 4 to Bournemouth at Old Trafford. I mean, it's shockingly bad. Going forward, we can score goals. I mean, a point on Cunha. I mean, he was outstanding. I mean, he looks like a Manchester United player. I mean, many players have come in recently where the weight of the shirt feels a bit too much for them, and you can tell. Whereas Cunha, I mean, he is a remarkable player, and he's a player that has definitely, lived up to that. I thought, Mbeumo, might not have had his best game tonight, but I still think he showed moments. I mean, Ahmad, he needs to be at the top end of the pitch no matter what. Look, I don't care if Ahmad doesn't defend. I wouldn't necessarily play him right wing back. I would play him right wing. But if you're going to play the system, you have to play Ahmad, and you can't play him right wing because Mbeumo plays there. So where do you play Ahmad? And that they're the sort of difficulties and the challenges Almiron's having. And I get Almiron's. I would have those challenges playing his system, but I wouldn't play his system. So it's almost like Almiron is creating problems for himself for the sake of playing this formation. And look, I get he adapted during the game in the 65th, 70th minute when we needed a goal. And look, I'm glad he adapted, and that's what he should be doing every game. And look, it's only taken him a year and a bit in the job to finally figure out you can adapt in a game. Look, and I guess it didn't work in the end. We only got a draw, but look, I rate him for trying. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, look, he adapted, he finally did it, blah, blah, blah. No, look, it took him a while, but I'm not going to, look, he did what I asked him to do. He changed it, and that's, I'm not going to sit here and be an Almiron hater when he tries. Look, I think Gary Neville said something on commentary about all the players on the pitch when we were chasing a goal are the players on the pitch that Manchester United fans should expect on the pitch when we're chasing the goal. And that's exactly right. We had Martinez, Heaven, Shaw, Dalot as a 4-back, Sesko, Cunha, Mbeumo, Ahmad, Bruno. Like, when those players were on the pitch, I was like, fair enough. Almiron has done all of it, all he can. The only problem I have is the defence isn't good enough. But, whether Almiron can do anything about that now, I think it's a bit of both. I think, look, we clearly don't have good enough defenders. I just think that's a fact. So we have to wait until January, or we have to wait till the summer. But I also think Almiron doesn't help himself at all by the system he plays. So it's a bit of both. And look, I'm not going to change my opinions on Almiron just off one game, and especially a draw against Bournemouth. I'm still not in the Almiron camp. But if he keeps adapting in games and showing the intent to try and get the win and try and turn it around, then he'll start to win me over. But he needs to, win these types of games. But
it sounds like, Sam, he's just on the cusp. I mean, we'll talk about it more later. because it's a case of, how dire was the situation a year ago. Thank goodness, it's sort of adapted a bit and evolved a bit from there, because we're sixth right now, which, in all honesty, I kind of feel like is fair. Maybe we're slightly overachieving of maybe what we should have. Like, if you look at some of the games where we got lucky, maybe against Chelsea earlier on in the season, where we just about scraped a win, 10 men on either side. You look back at a game like that and you think, wow, okay, that's one of the reasons why we're up here. We have turned up in those games, and this month was always going to be a bit of a banana skin. It had a potential to be a banana skin, because I thought going into this, by January, Wolves are going to have 6 more points than they do now when we face them twice this month. But no, they've now got a point more against Liverpool. I shouldn't be so.
But Kieran, look at our past 4 games. Right, we had West Ham, we drew at home. We had Everton, we lost. Wolves, we beat, and obviously today Bournemouth, we drew. So you're looking at those 4 teams and you're going, look, how many points have we picked up there? We've picked up 2 and a win, so we've picked up 5 points out of a possible 12 against mid to relegation level teams, and 3 out of the 4 games were at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
can't be happening. That can't be happening.
I get what you mean, but then you look back at match day 5. Again, I mentioned the 2-1 win against Chelsea at home. Sunderland, who were high flying at the time, we took them on match day 7, beat them 2-0. They've proven a tough nut to crack. We won against Liverpool away at Anfield in the Premier League. We won 4-2 against Brighton the very next match. Couple of draws against Forest and Tottenham Hotspur. Then it started to slightly fall apart against Everton. I think that's been a kind of a...
But the thing is, Kieran, it's also context, right? That game against Spurs, we went 1-0 up at, and we should have won that game. And, we scored a 90th minute winner to equalise. So that could have... Against Liverpool, we scored an 85th minute winner. So again, it's all... Look, I get... And I'm not here hating and all of this. I'm just putting it into perspective in terms of... We have glimpses. Don't get me wrong. We have glimpses where we look really good. Brighton, you mentioned there, we looked very good. Chelsea, I remember another game. Yeah, they had 10 men. We looked very good. Liverpool, we look good. So we have glimpses. But you cannot sit there and tell me, and no United fan can tell me, you have trust in a United squad to be consistent. You just, like, going into this game, we all definitely probably sat here going, yeah, we should probably win this game. Will we? I don't know. And that, when you lose trust in your squad, is the worst thing, bro. We can't now have confidence going into a United game. We just don't know, bro.
But I think this was one of those matches that was just so bizarre. You get a bizarre result every season across the Premier League. There's always going to be one scoreline. You think, what on earth?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's so easy to predict that, like, Bournemouth could come to Old Trafford and do a job. Do you know what I mean? Even when we were leading, I was saying, look, I'm confident we can score goals. It's keeping the ball out of our net I'm not confident about. And the literal thing happened in front of our eyes. Like, it's like United are so easy to predict now that, like, we're going to slip up or we're going to, like, make it entertaining for some reason. It's just like, there's no need. Like, we should control these games. Like, against West Ham, and this is the problem as well that I was speaking to my friend here during the game, in terms of, we can come out all guns blazing in the first half and even up until maybe the 60th minute, like we did against West Ham, or up until the 70th minute. But as soon as our defence needs to sort of do its job and sort of withstand any pressure, because our attack are knackered, because, we've gone all guns blazing in the first 70 minutes. In those last 20 minutes, that's where our defence needs to stand strong and withstand the pressure. And as soon as we feel any bit of pressure, we concede. And that is exactly what happened against Bournemouth today. I mean, within the first, 3-4 minutes of the second half, they conceded. They had 2 shots on target, 2 goals. And it's like, this is embarrassing. Like, what are we doing here where, like, yeah, we can score goals and this literally what I said, it was the 51st minute And I literally said to my friend here, I was like, the narrative tomorrow amongst United fans is going to be, yeah, but did you see that first half? We were really good. We were really good in the first half. Yeah, but what does it mean when with 6 minutes within the second half, it's all done for? Like, it's literally that whole first half was threw in the bin within 6 minutes of the second half. So don't give me all this crap about, oh, we're good in the first half, we're good in, because I know I'm not, but, and look, we were good in the first half, but what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here?
Look, let's let Sam have a cup of tea. We'll come back, and when we come back, we'll talk more about the players and, well, some of the goals. Just some of them, though, because there were 8. That's a lot of goals to go through. We're back after this.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionic. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
I feel like these goals, we just have to launch into them quick fire, as pretty much they happened quick fire. Ahmad opening the scoring there. Bit of a scrappy one, Sam, but they all count, especially in this game.
Yeah, and then they were looking at it for something at offside, maybe something like that.
Yeah, it was more the offside because they wanted to see if Cunha got a touch, and then they would look at if Ahmad was onside.
But yeah, I mean, look, it was everything we deserved in that first half. We came out quickly, and that first half, I mean, that first half, as I said, was in the first part of this episode. The first half was very good, probably one of the best halves of football I've seen from United all season. Obviously the disappointment comes in the second, but in the first, I mean, Ahmad gets his goal, and we won't see him now for a while, but
yeah, for AFCON. Just wiped away their tears, Sam. Semenyo then equalising on 40 minutes, very much against the run of play. He's an annoying player, is Semenyo, isn't he? He's very, very good. Such a strong and agile player, and him scoring against United was just inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets into that right channel, I mean, Shaw, obviously, is at fault for the goal, miss his touch, gives it straight to the Bournemouth attack, and then they're in on a defence. And look, I think it was Heaven, maybe it was Yoro. They're in a difficult position. Do I go and leave the man in the middle, or do I stay with the man in the middle? I mean, with a player like Semenyo, who knows, because you give him space like that and he buries it. So, yeah, I mean, against the run of play, but as I said, in the first half of this episode, I mean, every chance Bournemouth seemed to have, they score. So,
and then we had one more chance pretty much at the turn of half-time. Casemiro with a header that Petrovic should be saving. Let's not make any doubts about that.
Yeah, it's a howler. It's an absolute howler from the keeper. Look, Casemiro doing what Casemiro does, another headed goal. But yeah, I mean, the keeper, got to look at yourself, mate.
And then the floodgates open. Evan Nilsson, take nothing away from his finish, but if you want to end a goal drought, come to Old Trafford.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great finish, but it's just so open, it's so open.
Tucked away into that bottom right-hand corner as well.
Yeah, and
it's a good goal when it comes off the woodwork.
And the thing is, so many times in this game, like, it was literally one pass or one mistake, and it was like 3-on-3 or like 1-on-1, and it was like, how does that happen? And it comes back to the gaps in the midfield. It's like, well, I mean, maybe we'll touch on the saviour was released from prison this game in the 60th minute. Cobby, my guy, got a few minutes, but maybe we'll touch on him in a second. But the gaps in the midfield, the balls through straight into our defences. And again, you give players like Semenyo, Evan Nilsson, Like, even Tavernier, we can get onto that free kick now, I guess. You give Tavernier an opportunity that close with a free kick. I mean, Lamens maybe shouldn't be getting beaten like his side, but my God, I mean, what you may as well give a guy like Tavernier. That's a penalty to him, you know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure, Tavernier was the player that was fouled by Casemiro as sort of like a last ditch. So Casemiro did everything he could to stop it, and then the free kick goes in anyway. Yeah, from hard to say if how late Lamens saw it, but I kind of agree that maybe he should be at least getting a hand to it. But it is what it is. It then came 3-2, and then it was a case of a free kick that went through the wall, essentially through Bournemouth's wall beside United. This Fernandez free kick up and over, nestles into the top right. A chef's flourish.
Yeah, and I almost feel like this goal won't get the appreciation it deserves because of the amount of goals in the game. Whereas if it was 1-0 or 2-0, my God, people can't forget about this goal. I mean, look, we didn't get the win out of it, unfortunately, but absolute screamer. I mean, look, Tavernier's was a good goal, but I'm questioning Lamens. There's absolutely nothing Petrovic can do about Bruno's. Absolute top bins as you want. And I mean, look, again, the Bruno won't get the plaudits about this game. We drew. Again, it's drop points. There's going to be another narrative in the papers tomorrow morning. But I mean, it's just another game where Bruno absolutely delivers, in my opinion. I mean, he's everywhere. He's bloody like Kante if Kante was a white Portuguese midfielder, because he is bloody chasing the ball everywhere, scoring free kicks. I mean, he's literally captain fantastic at this point. I mean, look, people are going to be like, you're glazing, but glaze all you want. Like, we've got a world-class player. What do you want me to do? Like,
we're owned by the Glazers. Come on, let's have
come
this.
on. Like, what do you want us to do? I mean, he's world-class. How can you not say he's not world-class? Come on. It's ridiculous.
How about Cunha, though? I mean, we give him all the plaudits. One of the most exciting players at United to watch on for. He gets a goal, a well-deserved goal as well.
Absolute deserved, and great play for all round, to be honest. I thought when Sesko robbed it off Emblemo, I was a bit hesitant. I was like, come on, why have you robbed it off him? Gets a bit lucky that the cross lands straight to the feet of Cunha. And look, he ain't missing from there, and absolute deserved. And yeah, I would say if he continues on the way he's continuing on, I would look, and I was about to say one of United's best signings in recent years off this season if he keeps up this form. But I would go as far as to say, to take my United hat off a minute, if that's possible on this podcast, I would say Cunha's maybe up there for signings of the season. I would say, look, he won't get the plaudits because it's United and we haven't had a great season and all of this. But if you actually look at the impact he's had, and look, his numbers, there's no denying his numbers aren't great and he does need to contribute more. But if you watch him as an individual player, he may not get the goals and assists and things like this, but there's intent. There's intent there that, as soon as he gets the ball, he's doing something with it. He's trying something. It's the exact same feeling you get when Ahmad picks up the ball. It's the exact same feeling you get when Bruno picks up the ball. We're now starting to build a squad that is built off a foundation of intent, that players who, aren't satisfied with just passing it backwards or passing it sideways anymore. You've got Bruno, Emblemo, Cunha, Ahmad. So if we can start to, integrate that and then fix up our defence, we can be a real threat. For sure, we can be a real threat.
And then Krupi getting the equaliser as well. It was a tough one to take, and a celebration to mimic Nani at Old Trafford. Oh, that put a dagger in my heart.
Yeah.
But, then saves that were maybe just as good as goals. Lamens, 2 saves at the end there. The first one, that one straight at him, but he manages to get the foot on and get it away. And the second save is probably the better save of the lot. This wasn't a good game for either keeper, Petrovic or Lamens, let's be honest. But Lamens made sure we got that point.
Yeah. I think that's a fair point, that it wasn't a great game for either keepers. we've seen Lemons have better games at United since he's come in, but he's solid. Look, you can't really say anything else about him other than that. To be honest, he's very solid. I actually feel for him because I'm like, his defense really doesn't help him at all, and it might be another sad case of having a very solid keeper but not the defense too much. I mean, I think David De Gea is the saddest case of them all for that. But I think, Lamens is solid. He's been consistent up to now. Look, I think there's a lot more to learn for him. I think, look, when De Gea came in, there was a lot to learn for him as, that weight of that shirt in particular, out of all the United shirts, that weight of that shirt in particular holds a lot of pressure and a lot of weight. So, look, he's going to have not great games. He's going to have really good games. But he's got credit in the bank up to now to have the odd hiccup here and there. So and no hate on that guy.
No. I think it's a case as well that both teams here threw away 3 points. I think that's a fair comment to say. At some point in this game, both teams threw away this win. So for both to get a draw is phenomenal and predictable at the same time.
But Kieran, do you not feel like it definitely is more points dropped from our end than their end? I mean,
I don't know because
if you would have asked Bournemouth fans at the start of the game, would you take a draw at Old Trafford? They would probably say yeah. They would also probably say, look, we could probably go there and win it. But they would be like, I'd definitely take a draw. United fans going into the game, if you said, would you take a draw? I'd go, not really. Like, if we have to. But we're at Old Trafford to Bournemouth. And then as the game panned out, we started so well. The first half was very good. I'm like, come on, we can't be joined to these joke men. And then we're the joke. And then we're the joke men. We're the joke men. So
no, I mean, it's fair point. You know, it should be disappointing, but it kind of feels a relief that the game's over. For any neutral, for all the other 18 fan bases in this league, they had a great game to watch.
Yeah, and the thing is, a draw is, at the end of the day, fair. A draw is actually the fairest result of them all. But it's just like, if we won, we could... I don't know where we are in the league, actually.
We're 6th at the moment.
6th. I think
could have gone top 5, I think.
Yeah, if we won, we would have gone joint 4th, 5th on goal difference. But even now, again, I don't know how to feel, because now if you're asking me, am I happy with the draw? I'm like, no, but it could be worse.
In the circumstances, I think a draw is, a relief, not a sort of a great galvanising feeling. It's more like, thank goodness we actually got out there with a point. But that's not a great feeling going forward.
Yeah, and the thing is, as I said, I now know we've just played... This might not be in order, so don't correct me. But in our past recent games, I now know we've just played Everton, Wolves, West Ham, now Bournemouth. So I now also know my football logic is we're not going to play those teams apart from Wolves near again soon. So that means hard games are coming up. So if we can't get good points against these teams, wow, we are not looking good, bruv.
Well, the next 2 games, I'll say. Well, okay, remaining games for December. The 30th of December is the home match against Wolves. Hopefully, fingers crossed that is. But I think 2 definitely difficult games coming up. Aston Villa, who started off, I think the first 3 or 4 games, they were not looking anywhere near their best. They've really kicked on and got themselves pretty much in that chase for Europe. At Villa Park, that is going to be a tough game. And then Boxing Day, we're at home to Newcastle. And to be honest with you, I've not forgiven Newcastle for last year's festive period. I'm not going to forgive them now. We've got to get revenge, surely.
Yeah, I mean, look, Villa, we haven't got a batting else chance, if I'm being honest. I think, I know. Look, I know at times I'm seen as, a bit negative on this podcast, but
a bit.
my God, if you can honestly sit there as a United fan thinking we're going to get a result away at Villa the way Villa are playing, I mean, look, we might, but we have more chance not to.
This is a Villa that came off the back of a 3-2 win against West Ham. West Ham, who've struggled up top in, well, the last decade, maybe decade and a half, in actually securing a striker up top.
Okay, but Arsenal also just scored in the 90th minute to win at the Emirates against Wolves. So some teams, can have like games here and there. Like, I see your point. But what I'm also saying is, look, if it was at Old Trafford, I'd be more confident. I know people can call me mad for just what I've just witnessed, but Villa Park, the way they're going, I just don't see it personally. Look, if you said to me now, I'd say I'd take a draw. Do you know what I mean? So they're the games where you do take a draw, not the Bournemouths at Old Trafford. However,
we are Villa's Bournemouth. I see that on there.
That's right, No, and then the Newcastle game on Boxing Day. I mean, I could honestly see that being a game like today. Honestly, I mean, do you remember the Boxing Day from 19? Have you seen the photo from
It 19, comes up every Boxing Day.
1958, where it's 9-2, 7-1. Like us versus Newcastle, could. But I mean, they put in an absolute stinker against Sunderland on yesterday. Actually, at the time of recording on Sunday. So at the minute they're looking as bad as ever. But Boxing Day, you never know.
You do never know. Sam, we're going to have to wrap this up, but I just want you to give me your man of the match for this one.
From a United perspective? Or?
Well, if it's not a United player you're giving man of the match to, you need to give me 2 man of the matches.
Yeah, see, I mean, from a United perspective, I would torn between 2. I'll give it Cunha. I think it was one of the most influential games I've seen him play. Obviously, got his goal. I was torn between him or Ahmad because I thought Ahmad gave us one last very exciting game before he was going off to AFCON. So a reminder of, let us not forget while he's away of how good he is. And, that might make us depressed watching our right-hand side now without Mbeumo either. So I don't even know who we're going to play there now. Maybe Mazraoui, Dalot on the right.
I don't know. It'd be a crime to put Cunha out there, wouldn't it? It would be an absolute crime, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, from a United perspective, him, and look, big up, shout out Bournemouth, man. Look, they got a draw at Old Trafford. No hate on Bournemouth, big up. Well done to them. I'd give it Tavernier, absolutely scored an absolute worldie. And a decent little player. So, well done, Bournemouth.
Yeah, well done, Bournemouth. Well done. Yeah, we got to put credit where credit's due. You got a point.
I mean, we didn't make it that hard for you, but
But they didn't make it that easy.
Yeah.
Swings and roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts. Well, look, we've got a point against Bournemouth. Whether that's good news or bad news, let us know on all of our social medias. You can find us at GSPN Man United. We're on Twitter and X, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're on TikTok. Get involved in the conversation. Perhaps Sam has struck a chord. He normally does. He normally does have some good ideas on this podcast. Don't forget as well, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, don't forget to follow and subscribe so you never miss another push notification that we've gone live with an episode. And if you're listening to us, don't forget you can watch us on YouTube at GSPN Daily Man United Podcast. It's such a long title, so you have to remember it. It's been a pleasure being on here, and we couldn't do it without our partners at Zencastr, because here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform, and Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that can edit all of those ums and ahs, or maybe any swear words that Sam drops. Whatever the case, it's a great way to start your podcast and make it sound great and make sure it's delivered efficiently. So if you sound like that's sort of your kettle of fish, make sure you check out the show description to check out more about Zencastr and their link as well. This episode is part of the Daily Manchester United, part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. Please go check out all of the other shows on the network, show them your love, and tell them Kieran and Sam sent you. They'll say, who? Anyway, in the meantime, hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. We'll chat to you soon. Bye-bye.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.